We just spent 36 minutes talking, acting as if we haven't been talking all week.
Acting as if we don't have shit to do today.
That too. Yep.
I have a lot of shit to do today.
I mean, I don't really, but
I do. I'm excited about all of it, but I still have a lot to do.
What kind of cookies are you getting?
Bitch, I wish I had my fucking phone on me because it's charging. So they're gluten-free, vegan, crumble type cookies.
Oh,
so they're like the brand Crumble. So one of them's a pumpkin, a chai. They're so good. I can't remember because the flavors. Because this is the third week that I've tried to pick these fucking cookies up, and so the menu keeps changing. And this is like the best menu yet.
Okay,
it might be a Twix like type one.
Oof.
I know. I'm so excited.
I have been on a baking show rampage as of late. That's like what I do. It brings me joy, even though I don't like enjoy baking. I just like to watch the like
shows.
Yeah. And so lately I've been watching the Halloween cookie challenge.
Ooh.
And they have had 2, maybe 3 bakers that are gluten-free bakers, and they were on the show. I was like, oh, look at you guys representing. I love it.
Yes.
P.S. Betty almost made it to that show. They didn't pick her because she wasn't diverse enough.
What does that mean?
They asked her what her race was, like what her nationality was, because her hair was curly. She was like, I'm white. And they're like, sorry. But her friend made it on, and her friend's going to be on in like a week.
Seriously? That's amazing.
Yeah.
She makes phenomenal cookies. I wish
Dude, I was like, you would have killed it at this competition for sure.
Her cookies are, I remember getting them for soaps and I was just like,
dude, some of the flavors people make, like people who, know what they're doing with bake, they're like pepper and cilantro, lime, lemon, strawberry. I'm like, how does that all go together? Where? And then they're like, oh, this is phenomenal. I'm like, is it? It sounds gross.
I don't think so. I don't think it is. A soapy lemon cookie, I'm good. Soapy lemons. Soapy lemon berry cookie. No. Get away from me.
You guys, in the mental health world, there are, for lack of a better term, trends in business, right? Not even just business, but like people's mental health. So every October and March, things feel like they're falling apart. This was like this in the hospital that we worked at with the kids, typically because like that's the ending of first quarter in school, seasons are changing, all the things, right? And then March is like ending of third quarter, almost the end of the year. Like there's reasons for this to happen. Well, we no longer work with kids that much. Like we have some teens and stuff, but October is Octobering for all of our clients and ourselves right now. That is the only way that I know how to describe it, where it just feels like hit after hit or crisis after crisis, or like just, it feels like Indiana Jones and like the ball is rolling at you. You know what I'm saying? Where like you're just getting chased and you're like, am I ever going to like, is this going to let up or am I just going to get rolled over?
Yeah. And at some point you're like, just take me. Take me.
I'm just going to lay down at this point because I don't know what else to do.
Take me out. There seriously can't be another thing. So I think first and foremost, welcome to episode 110.
Very good. I'm so proud of you.
Will be a thing. I can't wait to do angel numbers episode next.
Oh yes. We'll have to do something really cool for that. I don't know what, but.
So welcome to episode 110. October is Octobering. Will that be the title? Probably not. However,
maybe.
Maybe we wanted to talk about how we manage when things feel absolutely overwhelming, and then what we talk with our clients about focusing on when things feel absolutely overwhelming. So I'll say for this week nothing that was happening in my life felt insurmountable, felt like terrible. It was just a lot of stuff at once. So it was, talking to my sister about some stuff. It was talking about this potential building. It was talking about, I had a client in crisis. I had a couple people reaching out, trying to get back in. I had rescheduling things, Jeff's business, this new venture that he's going out on, like there were some hiccups in that. And then there were some schedule changes with Sophia's after school programs because they didn't realize that they couldn't be like the middle school conferences were going on. So they had to cancel one of the nights. And so it was just a lot of moving parts with a lot of different things, all while trying to fundraise for her. And then finding out that I was chosen to be a chaperone, but then realizing like, oh, cool. Now I need to fundraise $2,000 fucking dollars on this fucking trip. And then thinking about the trip that we're going to take and then the trip I'm taking with my friend. So it was like, I just started kind of getting really overwhelmed with all of the things that were on my plate. So what I find to be the easiest for me to do is one, to go silent and like shut things off. Like I get very overstimulated, especially when I have all these thoughts going in my mind that are racing about, oh, don't forget to do this or do this or do this. So I have to shut everything off. And I talked a little bit about it on my story of like, I was trying to listen to my audiobook and I felt unbelievably overwhelmed. Like it just like started like ticking up. So I go silent. I don't listen to music in my drive. I do not put my audiobook on. I don't come home and watch TV. I try to stay off my phone. I was feeling pretty nauseous this week. So my phone is a really good distraction from feeling nauseous of just like looking at funny reels. So that was a bit helpful in that area. And then also too, add on top of it that I didn't feel physically good at all. So then I go to my bullet journal and I start writing down the things that I need to do, even if it feels like it's something that I know that I need to do. Like say it's like, oh, I need to remember to throw the laundry in the dryer. I'm writing that down and putting a little checkbox by it so I can color it in, because those are the things that my brain purposefully keeps bringing up and like zinging me with of like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then it feels like I don't have space for anything else. While people are talking to me or while we're going through things, because it's just unmanageable because those little things keep popping up. So then I start writing everything down, and then I go to doing, anything. Okay. So I don't know what episode it was that we did the bubbles. We talked about how
it was a couple episodes back. Yeah.
So maybe we'll put that in the show notes of what number that was, just because then I go to doing that. Once I get all of the thoughts out of my brain of like, here are my to-dos, then I go to doing that of like, what am I feeling? And then trying to piece together where that feeling is going so that I don't have to feel, like if I don't know where the feeling is coming from, then that feels overwhelming to me. So then if I piece it together with like, oh, it makes sense that you feel like this because this is going on. It makes sense that you feel like this because this is going on. So then it feels like everything has a place. And then it's like, I can start to have radical acceptance in those moments of where, like when I have a client who's in crisis, I have to have radical acceptance in that moment because I can't make that person feel better. That's my job, is to be there to support them and potentially give them resources, but I can't make them feel better. Like that's not within my control. So it makes sense that this feeling of like sadness or empathy or helplessness might be coming up because I'm watching somebody that I care about my clients go through something that's difficult for them. So it's easier for me to understand and then compartmentalize that feeling. So those are the things that I have to do for myself of like bare minimum. That's where I'm starting.
I don't know that I really have a process. I think what happens with me and what I find myself not beating myself up about, but what I find to be a really big struggle that's just like a continuous thing is that I have to, I choose to, because it's my job, show up for people all day, every day. And then if my son has a bad day at school or if he's going through something and then he needs me to show up, I'm like, okay, another thing. And then I'm exhausted and I'm like, he's the one that needs to be getting all of your energy. Like he's your kid. So you have to just accept that he needs you in that moment and that it is what it is. Yeah, sure. I can like neglect him and not be there for him. That's not who I am. So I'm not going to do that. But when I'm so emotionally spent, it almost feels like I can't possibly handle one more bad day kind of thing. I tend to escape in books. Like that kind of goes without saying. Although I do find that this week I was on my phone a lot and I was like, you're grossing me out. What are you doing? Like, why are we doing this again? Where you're just like zoning out on your phone continuously, and for what? So I'm like frustrated with myself about that. So I just need to be mindful of the usage of my phone again, because I know that I'm happier when I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also that emotion is just a data point telling you something. It's telling you like, hey, this is something that we've actively worked to get away from. And now we're kind of slipping into it because it's easy. It's it's a neural pathway that's already there. It's already built. It's easy to slip back into that. So I like that there isn't, I'm hoping that there isn't, but I'm sure I'm going to lean into, I'm sure that there isn't this shame behind it of like,
sure,
you suck. Why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Right. Like, I think that the statement,
it's more irritation of like, bitch,
hazard.
What are you doing? Like, quit. What I tend to do when I am stressed out though, is I clean. Like cleaning makes me happy. Cleaning makes me feel accomplished. Cleaning makes me feel in control. So that's not a bad coping skill to have, because once my environment is clean, I feel better. I also write everything down throughout the day. So it can be something as quote unquote little as I get done with a session and I write down, invoice this person, schedule this session. Otherwise I will forget. And then I go back and look at my calendar and I'm like, definitely forgot to put that session in there. And that's how you get double booked. That's not a good thing. So the other day I had so many fucking notes in my planner. I looked down and I was like, oh my fucking God, this is too much. Like it looks scribbly and messy, but it was just how I had to track what I had to do. I got a new client through an EAP that I have never used, like worked with before, because it's just one that I applied for in June when I did all that stuff. And then I was overwhelmed with that of like, okay, now I got to figure out this EAP and like see what to do now. And that felt really daunting. All I had to do was fucking make a phone call and it took 2 seconds. So I was like making it a huge deal in my head.
I think it's so easy to do that though. When we when we haven't done something, it is so easy. Like I needed to get a rental car for Seattle. Like that was my task to do. It took me a month to schedule a rental car.
Yeah.
I'd never done it before.
Sure.
And then I was like, well, I don't know about all these insurances. Do I need these insurances? What if I don't get these insurances?
Right.
Like those are the things that I get stuck on and overthink of. Should I get this? Should I not get it? What do you do? Like, cause I've never done it before. Yep. And then when I finally did it, I was like, Mari, that took literally 5 minutes. Make this a point and pinpoint this moment, drop a pin here, put a location pin here of you push this off for 4 weeks and it took you 5 minutes. And it caused stress those entire 4 weeks, just in the background, being like, you got to book it, you got to book it, you got to book it, you got to.
Yeah.
I think it is so important that when we are sitting here telling ourselves like, I can't do this, or this is too much, or it's going to be too hard. I'll just just try it. Because you're going to have that moment of like, oh, I only had to make a phone call. And now
it's funny though. The first day I made the phone call and I was like, no, I don't want to talk to anybody. So I just like hung it up. And then I was like, the next day I was like, just fucking do it. It literally took 2 minutes. I had to leave a message and they called me back and left a message and it was done. But in my brain, I was like, I don't have it in me to like talk on the phone. I can't do this.
I'm literally right now writing down that I have to book these wine tasting tickets for this event next weekend.
See?
Yep. Because I literally was like, oh my God, I'm going to push that off too.
And dude, I have a stupidly good memory. Like it's dumb. I remember friends from elementary school's birthdays. Like the shit that I remember is outrageous. Okay. So when I forget something, I'm like, that shouldn't be happening. I don't create shame within myself, but I'm like, bitch, you have a memory like nobody's business. But like when I'm scatterbrained like this and I can't possibly keep all this information in my brain, that's where lists come into play. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me and been like, I just feel so scatterbrained. Like I can't keep track of stuff. I'm like, are you making lists? Well, no.
Why?
I'm like, but you know, it works for you. So let's go with making lists. And here's the other part, you guys, you can make a list with 37 things on it. That does not mean you have to get 37 things done in a day. That means whatever you don't get done goes to the next day. This is just for you to keep a running track record of what needs to be done.
And also you're getting it out of your head so that you can see it on paper and be like, that's not even a thing I need to be worried about.
Correct. Or like, that's not imminent. I don't have to do that right now.
I gotta get all my fall clothes out. I gotta get them out. Like, that's not.
I gotta clean my air filter. Like the air is not on. No, you don't. You have like 8 months to do that.
Absolutely put that on the list. Absolutely. Roll it over when you get time. Sure. Yes. But those things swirl in your head and it's not tangible because it's not down on paper so you can see it. And so then everyone's like, oh, and it doesn't need to be this, like put it on a napkin.
Yes.
Put it on your phone, put it somewhere. I don't care where it is. I think it is unbelievably imperative for people to make lists, make a physical list or a running log of the shit that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally that simple.
Mm-hmm.
To get it out of your head and get it onto paper. You can't possibly remember everything that you need to do in this day and age.
Correct.
Life is entirely too busy, and we've moved too forward as a society in the things that the expectations that are out there for people to be accomplishing in a day, which is a whole nother fucking podcast episode that we know we've talked about, of like society's expectations aren't any of your fucking business if you didn't agree to them. So I think it's important to get all that shit on paper so you can start to tease out what is really important to me. Do I need to buy these tickets today? No, but it's on there. So I'll at least remember throughout this weekend that I need to do that.
Yep. The other thing is like understanding that there's so much overstimulation all the time. So if you are overstimulated constantly, you're always going to feel frazzled. You have to take those moments, like Mari said, and just be quiet, just be still. Like, we don't always have to be doing. How many times have our kids been like, I'm bored. And I'm like, you got 87,000 fucking things to do in your room. Just because there's nothing on TV, you don't want to play the game on your phone. Like, I don't want to hear it. Entertain yourself. That's what we did growing up. Like, you can entertain yourself. Right now, he's in his room playing Legos. I love that. He's not hooked up to an electronic device, playing a mindless game, staring at his phone like a psychopath. You know what I mean?
Stuff is.
That's what he did for an entire week. So
he's in there staring at Roblox, but I don't care. I don't care, because it's creative. She builds houses and decorates them and does whatever. So so be it. So be it. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to fight the thing that she wants to do right now and be like, well, you can be. She doesn't have any fucking free time during the week. None. Not a fucking single minute to herself, because she goes straight from school to her after school, either play practice or junior swing choir, then to soccer. And when she gets home, she's got to do homework. So if she wants to spend a couple hours and do Roblox, who the fuck am I to be like, you can't?
That's how weekends are, for sure.
Yeah. What the fuck? So
well, and during the week, because he has nothing to do when I'm working. Like, I can't.
And she's not going to do it the whole day. Like, we've got to finish the pumpkins that we got. And she's going to have to run all these fucking errands with me when I'm done. So like,
surprise.
Well, I told her yesterday, I already prepped her. I was like, we're going to have to do some of these things. And then she's going all day with her friend to a Taylor Swift movie. So like, she has these things interspersed, but like, if that's what makes it easier for me to do the things that I need to do, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to fight this. And also, going back to the point of, if you feel overstimulated, here's the thing. You do not need a mental diagnosis to feel overstimulated.
No.
You do not need to be like, something's wrong with me.
Correct.
No. This world is overstimulating. There are
Constantly.
so many things that are beckoning your attention that we feel societally pulled towards to give our attention to. I need to be on for people. I need to be there for my friends. I got to do this. I got to do that. Here's the thing. That's what taking a step back for a second, allowing yourself to feel what's going on, so you can attempt to say, what do I need to do for myself? I had a friend reach out to me saying, I feel overstimulated. Those weren't her words. Those are my words.
Like, I can't focus.
Yeah, I can't focus. I can't do these things. I don't know. I have no motivation. I don't know why I'm not doing these things. Here's the thing. If we're not taking a step back to be like, let me get down to basics. Am I sleeping? What am I feeding myself? And do I have enough water? Have I been moving my body? Like, am I doing the things that I know make me feel better? Taking a shower, cleaning my house, like organizing my stuff? Or do I feel like I'm being swallowed whole by everything because I've just been on the go. And now I'm finally having just a second moments of peace. And so I can see all of the things around me that feel chaotic. And now I'm like, oh, down in the dumps. Absolutely not. Can't do it. You don't need a mental diagnosis for that. You can just be experiencing that and allow yourself to feel it, and then start to work on the basics. Start to work on the basics. Are you sleeping? Are you getting enough water? I think that people don't understand, like, there's all these reels that are like poking fun at those things, but like, here's the thing. If you are not fucking sleeping, like, you have the potential to fuck up your circadian rhythm so badly that you do create psychosis problems.
Well, and how much are you drinking? How much are you using other substances? Like, all of that plays a part.
Oh, and water, you need water. You need water. We are made up of I don't know, the number changes all the fucking time, but at least probably 70% of water. You need water if you're not re-putting that back in. Also, if you're working all day, 12-hour shifts, and all you've had is a couple of bites of something, that's not sustainable. Then start looking at how much are you going out? Are you partying? Are you this? Are you that? Are you saying yes to all of these other people and not saying yes to yourself? And then when you're coming home, you're like, oh, I've got all these things that I've got to do and I didn't do them and blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to, like, there has to be a moment where you come back to yourself and you say, I can understand that those things are fun and they're exciting and I want to do those things, or I want to be there. I want to support my friends, blah, blah, blah. I can't function well in any of those roles if I am not functioning well in the role where I'm supporting myself.
Correct.
Does that make sense? Like, you have to set boundaries. You have to. So it's imperative that you take that step back and you start looking at, like, what's going on? What's going on? Those feelings are valid. They're real. Absolutely. I'm not saying that you need to have a mental diagnosis to have those feelings be real. You don't. This world is overstimulating.
Yep.
Period. And again, we've said it on the podcast, and we'll say it until we're blue in the face. Motivation is an emotion like anything else. It's going to come and go. There are so many times. I have a basket of workout clothes that need to be hung up that's been there for 3 days. I don't feel like doing it. I'm not going to feel like doing it. I don't want to do it.
Correct.
When I get done with this, am I going to do it? Yes. Yes. I absolutely am. And I'm going to time myself like I do every single time, so that when I come back to these moments where it's like, I don't want to do it, I don't feel like doing it, it's like, okay, well, it was 3 minutes. It took you 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes of your day. You can easily do that.
Yep.
So, moral of the story is, take a step back, shut your phone off, shut electronics off, take a deep breath, write down the things that you need to do, get that running list going, take it with you, bring a pen out or a pencil out with you wherever you're going, put it in your pocket, start checking off things, and then do the bubbles exercise and start attaching these emotions to what's going on, what's within your control, what's not within your control, what is something that's just ongoing that's going to be there. And then that's when you start making a plan. And if it looks like starting with the easiest stuff, then it's the easiest stuff.
Then who cares? You're doing something.
Exactly. Something is better than nothing.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we broke everything down well.
I was like, broke down.
You know, it feels like Monday sometimes.
It down. It really does. It really does. So you can find us at Rewriting Her Story Podcast on Instagram. You can find Steph at The Spooky Therapist. You can find me at BEA_XO11. You can email us any questions, concerns, comments, ideas at rewritingherstorypodcast@gmail.com. And then on YouTube, you can watch our beautiful faces at Rewriting Her Story Podcast on YouTube. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.